by so quickly. And Pete has been just tremendously awesome over the course of that time. You know, this is a truly unique battalion, and it takes a unique leader to run it, to lead it, to manage it. On paper, you know, the battalion's only about 225 or so individuals, so rather small. But in its effect, really, I mean, Pete has influence over, you know, the greater organization of Fort Sill, Team Lawton, you know, and all the things he does with FCO detachment and the 900 and 1,000 or so civilians and soldiers over there. So his influence extends far and wide across not only this brigade, this institution, or this installation, but the Lawton Fort Sill team and all across Oklahoma and North Texas. And, you know, as I already said, it takes a special kind of leader to do that. He's going to talk about all the rounds he's fired. He's going to talk about, you know, all the different stuff. But, you know, as I have in my remarks, you know, we couldn't do what we do, and I'm not talking about just this brigade, but this, you know, this installation, the TRADOC portion of this installation, to train soldiers. That's our basic mission: is to prepare these young men and women to go out to their first duty assignments, or the subsequent duty assignments when we look at some of our warrant officers and captains and functional courses. But what we do, you know, we have to make sure that they're ready to fight the moment they get there. And we couldn't do that without the team that's on the field here, and we couldn't do it without great leaders like Team Salfeety here, because behind him is just an amazing family. Amanda, Shani, Tyler, you know, thanks, Aunt Corey.
Thanks for adding to
You're in the line of fire when you get up there. You know, I'm not good on jokes and all that kind of stuff. My timing kind of is really bad, so I don't have any of that in my speech. Mike, don't laugh. You know. You know, but I do have to tell one quick story about Pete. The first time, you know, when I got here, it was a whirlwind trip for me. You know, it had about 8.5, 9 days to get from Islamabad, Pakistan to Fort Carson to here and take command, and it meant I was tired. And so take command that morning, get done with the change of command ceremony, sitting upstairs in my office, and not within 10 minutes, Pete comes storming upstairs. I don't even know who the guy is yet, really. And sir, I got to talk to you about military working equine. And I look at him, I go, equine? What are you talking about, equine? He goes, sir, it means a horse. Thanks, Pete. I grew up in Texas. I know what equine means. You know, it's just been an awesome ride with Pete and Team Salfeety. It's you know, the accolades could just go on and on and on for hours. My speech is not even begin to scratch the surface of what this great Army couple, Army family has been able to do, the influence that they've had on these young men and women and their families on the field, the soldiers and families across this installation. And I'd be remiss, Pete, if I didn't talk about all the stuff you do outside of work, and you know, with the Boy Scouts, with coaching, with all the stuff you do with Cameron University and in the local recruiting battalion that you're going to be intimately acquainted with here pretty soon. But you know, this we have a couple small tokens of appreciation here, but they don't even begin to say or recognize the great achievements that you all have done over the last years. And I just want to say, on behalf of Sergeant Major and myself and the Cornerstone team, thank you for everything you've done. So with that, why don't we go ahead and publish the orders?
Attention to orders. The Meritorious Service Medal is being awarded to Lieutenant Colonel Peter S. Salfeety for exceptionally meritorious service while assigned as the battalion commander for the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment. Lieutenant Colonel Salfeety was instrumental to the overall successful accomplishment of the unit's mission. His distinct service and performance of duty are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon him, the 428th Field Artillery Brigade, the Fire Center of Excellence, and the United States Army. Signed, Winston P. Brooks, Major General Commanding.
Hey, oop. Right there. All right, come on here. Hey, thank you everybody for coming to today's ceremony for Lieutenant Colonel Salfeety and Lieutenant Colonel Lengel. So real quick, look from left to right, Colonel Salfeety. Who do you see? Everybody. You have folks from FCO, HQ Det, Garrison. You got a Marine out here, Joint Services. The half section, you have a lot of civilians at it. The power of influence is amazing here in 22. 8 months ago when I took over with Colonel Salfeety, he asked me one thing. He's like, hey, have a seat. We're gonna have a council statement / bro session. We sat down and two things we discussed. Number one, who's your NFL team? The Steelers, the Giants, got it. And then number two, like, hey, how do we take this battalion to another level? And I said, well, you tell me, what are we missing? He's like, hey, the team is great, but we got to make it better. How do we build that team? And I said, I got you. You go to all the meetings, and I'll go to the field, and I'll take care of the team. We'll build the team, and that's exactly what we did. 100%. So 8 months ago, he said, hey, if you can go ahead and start building the team, and we'll get together every time. We never skipped a beat. And the message we gave to the battalion is like, hey, look, winning matters. All right, no matter what you do in life. If you wake up and you make it a PT formation, that's a win. If a first sergeant comes and takes care of the soldiers on the weekend, that's a win. If Colonel Salfeety goes to a meeting and I don't, that's a win. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a lot of wins for you, man. So I'm definitely a winner also. So Colonel Salfeety, on behalf of the battalion, we got you this little token of appreciation. Colonel XO, could you read it for us and show everybody else?
Lieutenant Colonel Peter S. Salfeety, from the officers, NCOs, and soldiers of the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment. Thank you for your wisdom and leadership in helping the Big Deuce Battalion remain the premier team in the brigade. You left a legacy of lethality that will leave a lasting impact. Your mentorship, intellect, and steadfast presence will be missed. Winning matters. I am for Sill, the biggest dude.
Where's Emily? That's crazy.
Medina, where you at?
I'm right here, sorry, this is about as big as Deuce as you can get right here. Awesome.
We'll take it.
You don't want me to break it?
Nope. Amanda, don't go anywhere, Amanda.
Amanda.
Go ahead.
All right, so we would be remiss if we didn't recognize Amanda as well. Obviously, part of the command team is the family, and Amanda's been outstanding in her 2 years as well. From opening your home to the battalion for New Year's Day gatherings, to senior leader gatherings, to just showing up and actually giving some dignity to what would normally just be a big deuce. We greatly appreciate everything that you've done, everything that the family has done and sacrificed over the last 2 years. This battalion would not be what it is if it wasn't for you and the family as well. So on behalf of battalion, brigade, and FCO.
Attention to orders. The Public Service Commendation Medal is being awarded to Amanda Salfeety for extraordinary service to the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment from May of 2022 to June of 2024. Mrs. Salfeety's dedicated service and unselfish contribution of her time, energy, and talents in support of the soldiers and families of the Fort Sill community will make a lasting impact for years to come. Her actions are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon her, the 428th Field Artillery Brigade, the Fire Center of Excellence, and the United States Army. Signed, Winston P. Brooks, Major General Commanding. She is also being awarded the Order of the Red Legacy and the Twilight Toll.
that though. Thank you. Yes, it's different sweat all over. That's fine. That's what it is. Oh, that's why I like that. You got this guy.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Wow. It's because he's standing up, his back hurts.
All right, and then last thing, we do have a little bit more on behalf of the spouses of the battalion. Token to remember the battalion by.
Okay. Thank you guys. I have to speak.
There, hold this for you. Yeah, you gotta say words.
Well, like I said before, I was a little bit nervous about Pete taking command. Fort Hood was pretty rough on us. He was gone all the time. I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I saw him very, very little. So whenever he said he was going to take command, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be horrible. But Tutu has been so amazing. It's been, I can't express. And I'm really proud of him. I don't tell you enough. But thank you guys so much.
Light this camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 10 minutes.
It'll be a fast 10 minutes.
It's gonna be a fast 10 minutes. Morning, Brian.
That was awesome. You guys get front row seats.
Generally, as people
Front row.
so it worked out. Yeah, absolutely.
So the video, can that be shut? Did they get a copy of it?
Your traps kind of popped it. when you lift that plaque, your traps popped it up.
Hey, sorry I missed your call. I was trying to get back to you. Hey, how do I? Am I on? What up? How do I? Where?
So I made your Eps. Eps.
It's the PAO special.
I got my first plaque for my promotion. My first plaque ever. Yeah, Kane in my room.
He's getting ready to give a 5-minute call. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 5 minutes.
It's 9:08.
Bring your units to attention and parade rest.
Parade.
That was colorful.
Parade. Rep.
Attention! Parade! Rest!
Attachment. Parade.
Put him up front here. At the time when we got to certain place, these are doing absolutely. Could be your last if you like your knee.
What's up, Brad?
The ceremony will begin momentarily. We ask that all electronic devices are turned off or set to silent mode.
If you're not free, there's somebody who can drop it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment change of command ceremony between Lieutenant Colonel Pete Salfeety and Lieutenant Colonel Michael Lengel. The reviewing officer for today's ceremony is Colonel Victor Scharstein, commander of the 428th Field Artillery Brigade. At this time, we would like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Joining us this morning are Mr. Joe Gallagher, Deputy Commanding General for the Fire Center of Excellence, Colonel Mike Bearfield, Chief of Staff for the Fire Center of Excellence, and his wife Carrie, Command Sergeant Major Neil Sartain, Command Sergeant Major for the Fire Center of Excellence, Mr. John Ratliff, City Manager for Lawton, Oklahoma, Colonel Jim P., Commander of the United States Army Garrison, Fort Sill, Command Sergeant Major William Pearson, Command Sergeant Major of the United States Army Garrison, Fort Sill, and his wife Tamara, Colonel Victor Scharstein, Commander of the 428th Field Artillery Brigade, Command Sergeant Major Jason Obermuller, Command Sergeant Major of the 428th Field Artillery Brigade, Colonel Retired Sammy Kaufman, Honorary Commander of the 2nd Field Artillery Regiment, and his wife Gail, family, friends, and other distinguished guests of the Big Deuce Battalion. For the ceremony sequence of events, please refer to your program. From ancient times, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victories over enemies, honor comrades in arms, and celebrate special occasions as we are doing today. These ceremonies have added color and pageantry to military life while preserving tradition and stimulating esprit de corps. The Continental Army established the foundation by which our present-day ceremonies are performed, and today's ceremony is an enactment of an Army tradition that is 248 years old. It reaffirms the concept that the Army is perpetuated on time-honored values and traditions. Today, you will witness a small part of that tradition as the organizational colors and command authority of the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment are passed from one leader to another. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation presented by Chaplain Woods.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving Father, I thank you for this beautiful day. I pray for your presence with us as the command of 2-2 is handed over. This peaceful exchange of command reminds us of the freedom that we have as Americans, a freedom that you have provided and that you will allow. I also want to thank you for the faithful service rendered by Lieutenant Colonel Salfeety during his time in command of Deuce Deuce. Thank you for all that he has done for the battalion and for the Army. I pray that you will continue to be with him and his family in the days ahead as they shift their focus and energies to the next chapter of their lives. I pray that you will be with Lieutenant Colonel Lengel as he assumes command today. Bless him and his family as they seek to be an inspiration to the soldiers and families of this winning team. I pray that you will provide him with all that he needs to lead and serve this battalion with faithfulness, courage, and integrity as he continues the great work of his predecessor. Please strengthen, encourage, and empower Lieutenant Lengel to command as you would have him command. I want to also thank you for the Big Deuce soldiers gathered here today, as they also contribute to the success of the battalion. Renew, encourage, and bless each one as they faithfully follow their new leader, continuing to move forward with loyalty and striving to accomplish each mission set before them with honor. Finally, Lord, I ask that you will be with us all today, that this ceremony will not just be another event on our calendar, but a benchmark of excellence for us all to follow as we seek to be all that you have called us to be and all that our country needs us to be. In your name I pray, amen.
Please be seated. At this time, the half section is presenting a bouquet of red roses to Mrs. Amanda Salfeety, a single rose and gift to his daughter Mashani, a gift to his son Tyler, and a single rose to his aunt Corey in appreciation for their selfless service and support to the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the half section is presenting a bouquet of yellow roses to Lieutenant Colonel Lengel's wife, Mrs. Kate Lengel. Coins to his daughter and son-in-law, Mignon and Michael Selby. His granddaughter, Emerson Selby. His father, Jerome Lengel. His son, Marcus Lengel, and daughters Alexis, Cadence, and Isabella Lengel, welcoming them to the Big Deuce Battalion. The units on the field from left to right are the Headquarters and Service Battery, commanded by Captain Darnell Woolfolk and First Sergeant Tyler Walden. Alpha Battery, commanded by Captain Noah Cambili and First Sergeant Benjamin Walsh. The 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regimental Color Guard, under the direction of Battalion Command Sergeant Major Joshua Kazaka. Bravo Battery, commanded by Captain Jadalane McCullum and First Sergeant Matthew Koval. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Ross Richard.
Detachment, attention. Bring your units to attention.
Batteries, attention! Battery, attention!
Battery, attention!
The official party for today's ceremony is Colonel Victor Schorstein, Lieutenant Colonel Pete Salfeety, and Lieutenant Colonel Michael Lengel.
I figured you would, just follow you.
Bring your units to present arms.
Present arms! Present arms!
Present arms!
Detachment, present arms. Sir, the battalion is formed.
Conduct the ceremony.
Detachment, order, arms. Bring your units to order, arms.
Order! Arms! Order! Arms!
Order! Arms!
Detachment, center, hey. Forward, march. Detachment, part time, march. Detachment, halt. Detachment, center, hey. Bring your units to present arms.
Present arms! Present arms!
Present arms!
Detachment, present arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. The very soul of a military unit is symbolized by the colors under which it trains and fights. From the earliest of times, warriors used a banner or other symbol to identify units and to serve as a rallying point for troops. After a battle, the unit whose colors remained flying was the victor. Today, the colors with unit streamers attached join their unit in formation to signify their presence during past battles. They remind us of the glories of the past, stand guard over the present, and provide inspiration for the future. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment. Signed, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Lengel, Field Artillery Commanding.
Group. Oh. About face.
Bring your units to parade. Rest.
Parade! Parade!
Attachment. Parade. Rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 428th Field Artillery Brigade, Colonel Victor Sharstein.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for attending. Mr. Gallagher, Command Sergeant Major Sartain, Colonel Bearfield, fellow brigade commanders, command teams, distinguished visitors, family and friends, thank you for being here this morning to be a part of this significant ceremony. The changing of command for Deuce Deuce Field Artillery, more roundly known as the Big Deuce Battalion. Today marks an important milestone as the battalion colors pass from Lieutenant Colonel Pete Salfeety to Lieutenant Colonel Mike Lengel. First thing I'd like to do is recognize Command Sergeant Major Kazaka and the soldiers on the field before us. Sergeant Major, the formation looks great, and what I'd like to do, because I know Salfeety's remarks are going to be incredibly long, I'd like to go ahead and put the formation at rest. So, Big Deuce, go ahead and rest out there, unseat your colors and relax for a minute. My speech is going to be relatively short because I know Pete's is going to be long. So as I look across this formation, I'm compelled to say that the soldiers, NCOs, and officers who stand before you in formation form what I consider to be the most lethal and influential field artillery battalion within our military. I know this is a strange accolade for a TRADOC assigned unit. However, I'll mention a couple quantifiable metrics here in a few minutes to reinforce this message. I want to begin by recognizing Team Salfeety, led by Amanda, with daughter Shani and son Tyler. They are joined this morning by Aunt Corey. Amanda, thank you for everything you've done for our soldiers and their families. Shani and Tyler, thank you for the support you've given your father over the last 2 years. There's no more impactful position in our military than being a battalion commander. It's tough, and all of you have paid a tax for the position your father has held, but understand it's made our institution and our country stronger. I also want to welcome Team Lengel, led by Mike's wife Kate, daughters Mignon, Alexis, Candace, Isabella, son Marcus, all joined by Mike's father Jerome and son-in-law Michael. To all of you, I want to say welcome. Mike is taking over one of the most influential battalions in our Army, and Team Lawton Fort Sill is a great and supportive community. I wish you all the best over the next few years as Mike takes this great battalion to even greater heights. Pete, as I mentioned a few minutes ago during your awards presentation, it's been an interesting 2 years. The first of which I don't think you or I truly appreciated the impact your organization has across the brigade, Fort Sill, the city of Lawton, or throughout the Oklahoma and North Texas region. 2 days ago, when I completed your OER, I read your duty description, which I'm sure is the same duty description a number of your predecessors have used as well. And it just didn't seem right. It didn't capture the full essence, the expansiveness of what you and your organization does on a daily basis. And I know it's uncommon to read or even kind of talk about somebody's duty description during a change of command, but in this case I think it's crucial because so few understand the actual influence your command has across our entire FCO formation. Simply, it's more than just being a commander of a 119 Alpha 3 direct support field artillery battalion, consisting of only 2 batteries and a HSB. And as I said before, and a couple hundred soldiers, it's more than that. The influence you have over the 7 directorates and FCO detachment really means that you're responsible for the leadership, training, morale, welfare, safety, and discipline of roughly 1,500 soldiers and civilians on this installation. Not to mention the support that you give to 12 different Army and Marine Corps enlisted and officer courses, training some 20,000 soldiers and Marines annually. What does all this mean? It means while on paper you have a little over 225 personnel, you did in fact influence thousands of civilians, Marines, soldiers over the last 2 years. Simply put, without you and your organization and what they do, this command could not achieve its most basic mission, training soldiers, Marines, and officers to be ready to fight upon arrival at their first or subsequent duty station. Deuce is the true cornerstone of the field artillery. What we do as an institution does not work without this formation and the foundation and the standards it sets. I think Monica Romero summed it up perfectly yesterday, trying to find a word that encompasses the way you lead. And I had to steal it from her and say passion. Passion is the word I'd use to describe how you command. Every time we talked, your thoughts were always about the soldiers and their families. Everything you did with them in mind. And what I respect most about you is that you always look forward, never look backwards. And what I mean by this is you were always concerned about returning your soldiers to the operational force more trained than when you received them. I know you're going to talk about the 72,138 rounds that you fired. Notice I didn't say safely fired, but fired over your command.
Just that one little guy? Don't worry about that one.
They all did land in the impact area, I grant you that much. And the 146,333 rounds delivered. So I'll leave that one alone. But I'd be remiss, Pete, if I did not recognize some major accomplishments during your time. And I know this doesn't account for them all. It only scratches the surface. But the work you've done with the half section, you and Laura and the team over there have just been truly amazing. So much so that, as most other installations with military working equine are either closing down their half sections or reducing them, you're growing ours and influencing Army policy while doing that. And I know General Brooks would kind of chuckle, but you really have kind of built a equine center of excellence here at Fort Sill. Your best section competition, which you did every quarter, every 6 months. For those who don't know in the crowd, love it, hate it, whatever, it was important that Army did it. The best red leg competition, that was actually born out of Salfeety's best section competition. All the work you and your battalion have done for the Lawton Fort Sill community, the live fires you've hosted, bring the community closer to understanding what we do here at Fort Sill, and volunteering your own time to coach numerous sports across Lawton, Elgin, and the local community. And as I said, the list goes on and on and on. But you've just done a fantastic job. Pete, thank you for everything you've done for Fire Center of Excellence, Lawton, and our branch, and this brigade. You know, as I was sitting here writing this, something that Colonel Norb Menendez, the Vardy commander of 4ID, when I was a battalion commander, said to me one time. He said, "You have to play the hand you're dealt." And Pete, you played that hand to perfection. I couldn't have asked you to do any more than what you've done over the last 2 years. And now the Army's charged you with another battalion command. This time recruiting the young men and women of our country into the Army. That's a difficult mission, but it's a strategic mission. And you know, it's very seldom that a lieutenant colonel gets a chance to command a second time at the 05 level. So you know, the Army expects big things from you, and it's resonant in the fact that they place confidence in you commanding another very strategic organization. But as you do that, never hesitate to reach out if there's anything that I or the Cornerstone Brigade can do for you. Mike, Kate, and the Lengel family, welcome to the Cornerstone Brigade. Now, Mike's no stranger to Fort Sill, having served in 218th FA as a lieutenant. Mike comes to us from Missouri State University, where he was the professor of military science and the head of the military science department. Now we talked about this, Mike, but interestingly, he is the only other officer I've ever met to serve as the assistant division fire support coordinator for 11th Marine Regiment out of Camp Pendleton, the 1st Marine Division. I held that position many years ago. It's phenomenal. But I would ask you, Mike, leverage your unique knowledge of the Marine Corps to further strengthen the bond, the joint bond we have between our two organizations. It's something that we somewhat lost long ago, but we need to get that back. And you're positioned uniquely to help this brigade and the Commandant's office to further strengthen that relationship. Again, thank you to everyone in attendance today. Mike, Pete, good luck as you each move into your new positions. Fire strong, Cornerstone, and Pete, winning matters. Thank you. I didn't say any jokes. I'll leave them up to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Pete Salfeety.
Let's go.
Protein drink?
All right. Mr. Gallagher, Sergeant Major Sartain, Colonel Retired Kaufman, Colonel Bearfield, Colonel Sharstein, Sergeant Major Obermueller, distinguished guests, community partners, frontier friends, family and friends of the Big Deuce Battalion. Welcome to today's change of command ceremony, and thank you all for attending. I really appreciate the turnout. I couldn't ask for more support from y'all. Good thing C6 put y'all at rest, because even though the chief said I only got 3 minutes, you know, we may go a little long here, so just chill out there on the field. You look great. I'd like to start with my thank yous. First and foremost to my family, Amanda, Tyler, and Mashani. 2 years ago, there was a career path that had me staying at Cameron University as a professor in military science for 3 to 4 years and riding off into the sunset and into retirement. I will forever be thankful for your support and allowing me to command Big Deuce. Thank you for always being there for me, putting up with all my crap, and allowing me to do what I love to do. Thank you, and I love you all. To my mom and dad, I know you can't be here today, but thanks for raising me right and teaching me to get a little bit better day by day in every way. Aunt Corey, thanks for making the trip from Florida to support me and my family. You're the best, and hands down my favorite aunt. And it's public, this is live. So. Major General Camper, Brigadier General Morgan, Major General Brooks, and Sergeant Major Sartain, thank you for giving me the opportunity to command. Mr. Gallagher, thank you for your support, your sound advice, and above all, your love for the Fort Sill Artillery House Section, especially our ladies, Molly and May. I'm going to miss you, sir, and I'll probably call you for some more advice here on the next job here shortly. So hopefully you don't change your phone number. Colonel Morgan and Colonel Sharstein, thank you for entrusting me to command Big Deuce my way. C6, sir, I'm gonna miss our talks, mostly about our kids and their sporting achievements, the hilarious memes we share, war stories, and above all, me giving you fantasy football advice. Sir, I'm so proud of you. You've come a long way from drafting a kicker in the second round of your fantasy draft. We've made a lot of progress in the last 2 years. Thank you for allowing me to talk 1,000 miles a minute and likely providing way too much detail, and then responding with the exact guidance or advice I needed in 5 words or less. I appreciate you always having my back and for making me a better leader. I'm not going far, so if you ever want to stop by for an ice cold pickle or two, the invite is open. Mr. Greg Markham, you are the unsung hero of this brigade. Not enough people know or understand what you do for this formation and how much you fight for our soldiers. Thanks for always allowing me to vent, watching my back, approving almost all of our purchases, and everything you've done for the Fort Sill Artillery Half Section. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you for letting me borrow your kegerator for going on almost 2 years now. I could have not been more blessed to have 2 Rockstar Command Star Majors. To Wiley and Josh, I'll be forever in debt to you. There's not enough words I can say for how thankful I am to have you guys in my life and your families. Thank you for always putting our soldiers first, giving me sound advice, and above all, keeping me humble. You'll be my lifelong friends. I love you guys. To my field grades, Tony Muccio, Scott Schutz, Matt Millsap, Brian Bales, and Ross Richard, I could not have asked for a better group of majors to run this battalion. You made my job easy, and thanks for enabling me. To my commanders, Catherine Grizzle, Burns Farley, Tyler Phillips, Mason Kasonic, Noah Cambida, Lisa Pilcher, Emily Tripp, Monica Romero, Jada McCollum, Darnell Wolfolk, and Shelby Kuntz. You guys absolutely crushed it. Thanks for making my job fun. I hope I helped you guys as much as you helped me. I'm excited for our Army, knowing that you guys are going to be our future leaders. To my first sergeants, Brown, Crocker, Epps, Q, McGrady, Grammer, Walden, Walsh, and Koval, and Holbrook, you guys are the engine that make this battalion and HQ det run. Thanks for the honest and candid feedback, and thank you for always putting our soldiers first and always going above and beyond to keep them safe. I'm going to miss you guys. To my Chief of Half Section, Miss Laura Armstrong, it's been a long couple years. I can't articulate how much I appreciate your passion and everything you do and have done for the soldiers and the equids within the half section. I hope I taught you a little bit about how to army, because you taught me more than I ever wanted to know about horses. There are so many more people I can thank, from Miss Hobson to Austin to Miss Potts to the Nunez to Chandler, Kamaster, Chapa, Dew to Dunlap. But I'd be here all day and the chief will get mad at me. I love everyone in this formation. From the bottom of my heart, thanks for making me look good every day for the past 2 years. If any of you ever need anything, I'm an email, text, or phone call away. I'm the only Salfeety in the Army, so I'm not hard to find. To Mike and Kate, happy belated birthday. I'm obviously biased, but you're taking over a great formation. Take care of the people, and this battalion will move mountains for you. Mike, keep empire building, and I'm excited to watch from afar as you take the Big Deuce to new heights. Winning matters. Win to be successful or victorious in contest or conflict, to obtain by work, to earn it. Winning is the active one that wins, seizing victory. 2 years ago, we set out to build a family-like team that was committed to a culture of winning. I gotta say, mission accomplished. There are a lot of folks out there that say winning matters, but here in Big Deuce, we live it every day. It's not just a phrase on our coins, our swag, our stickers, and the branding across our battalion footprint. Big Deuce walks the walk, and we win at everything we do. Best Red Lake, winners. FCO Best Squad, winners. Corporal Medina, FCO NCO of the Year, won it. Specialist Pleasant, promoted yesterday. FCO Best Warrior of the Year, won it. Half Section, recognized by the CAT Commander for ceremonial excellence in support of Medal of Honor recipient Colonel Retired Donlan's funeral up at Fort Leavenworth. Reigning post softball champions, and Sarno's about to run it back to back, baby, let's go. back-to-back Cornerstone Brigade Turkey Bowl champions, and the list goes on. Finally, to squelch the rumors and the fake news put out by C6 that the hard charging change of command last week, Big Deuce safely fired 72,138 105mm HE rounds and delivered in excess of 146,333 tube artillery rounds over the past 2 years. That's a huge accomplishment. Not to take anything away from the 23 great Americans in the 1st to the 30th Firing Platoon, but those 59,000-ish rounds never get downrange if it wasn't for HSB 22 delivering the ammo. So we'll take partial credit for all rounds fired by Hard Charger as well. Hashtag winning. It doesn't matter if you are a First Sergeant, 13 Bravo, EOD, 13 Juliet, FDO, XO, platoon leader, staff member, or a commander. The proof is in the pudding. You need to get in the arena, compete, and win at everything you do every day. I'm so proud of this formation, and I'm truly humbled to remain a part of this Army family. Big Deuce, keep kicking ass. Good luck in all your future endeavors, and keep winning every day. Be all you can be. Fire strong. Cornerstone. Big Deuce. Big Deuce 6 signing off the net.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Lengel.
All right, I work on buying us back some time here. So, FCO leaders, C6, C7, distinguished guests, family, friends, thank you for honoring our soldiers with your attendance today. Because again, this ceremony is not just about the commanders, it's about the command. Colonel Bearfield, Colonel Sharfstein, thank you for your confidence and trust in me to assume this command. I'd like to thank Pete, Sergeant Major Kazaka, for the warm welcome and smooth transition into the battalion. This clearly established winning culture that cares about each other that I will strive to continue. Enjoy your well-deserved vacation, Pete. Reset for the next one. Recruiting command's got the right personality. I want to thank my wife, Kate, my father, my children for being here today. Seldom we're all together, so I'm glad we're all here to experience this day. Thank you for your love and support as we continue this Army journey together. To the soldiers, you have my pledge to uphold the reputation and history of this essential battalion within the Fort Sill community. Thank you for all you've done and will we ask of you in the future as we continue to support this great installation in all ways, from training, logistics, to ceremonies, demonstrating absolute professionalism and expertise. All policies and procedures remain in effect. Fire strong, Cornerstone, Big Deuce 6 signing on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Army song.
ceremony.
Take charge of your battalion.
Sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's change of command ceremony. Please bid your farewell to Lieutenant Colonel Salfeety, Amanda, and his family in front of the tents. Please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Lengel and his family and join them for refreshments located in the battalion classroom across the street on the first floor. Fire strong, people first, winning matters, be all you can be, Big Deuce.
Brian?
Don Bond.
Hey man, hey, we definitely got to hit up for recruiting here. I'll check with him. Yeah, I just I'm trying to text you. Okay. I'll send you an email. Yeah, shoot me a note, then I'll get you. Someone's like, texting, like, hey, sure. Yeah, no response. Oh shit. Yeah. That'd be great.